What is going on, guys? Welcome back to my round 3 team builder video for the LBA. Now, this week I'm going up against Terralution 23, Terran, Mr. Boss Ass Bitch himself. He's freaking awesome. I freaking love Terran. He does a lot of things for the Lithia region. He's actually, I believe, he's one of the founders, actually, which is freaking awesome. And he's actually the DC Diancies. I think on the LBA spreadsheet he's like the DC EVs, but he announced that he was the DC Diancies and just never got changed. So, with that being said, we're going to run down a quick reminder of his team, because if you don't follow the LBA or the spreadsheet or whatever, I don't expect you to know anybody's teams except for my own. And if you don't know my own, then leave. No, I'm just kidding. Please stay. So he has Rotom Wash, Ferrothorn, Volcarona, Cloyster, Sableye, Hitmonchan, Mega Diancie, Tornadus Eye, Togetic, and Meloetta. So, he has not had his round 2 battle at the time that I'm recording this. So, one interesting thing to note about his team that I don't think many people really utilize in other leagues is the fact that he loves Hitmonchan. If I'm not mistaken, last season he brought Hitmonchan to every single battle. So, I fully expect Hitmonchan to come. I mean, that could be wrong of me because he also has Togetic to get rid of hazards, but Togetic kind of gets destroyed by half of the things on my team, including Raikou, Scizor, depending on the spread that I run on Mega Audino, I could do a lot. Registeel, Starmie, could do a decent chunk to it, and there's a good chance that he won't be bringing Togetic, but I'm still going to prepare for it. Another thing that I noticed about his team that is very obvious, and when I say obvious, I don't mean, oh, Kelly, you might want to, I mean, like, it screams, Kelly, he's going to bring this. Please be careful, he's going to bring this. And that's Volcarona. Volcarona actually sweeps my team. It can sweep my team after one Quiver Dance, which is actually terrifying. If he wants to, he could start out with it and set up all the heck over my face and sweep me. So I need to prepare for that right away. So another thing that I wanted to note out is his wall core is so extremely potent and sickening and fantastic that it's so hard to not admire it. Between the Rotom Wash, the Ferrothorn, the Sableye, and the Togetic. And honestly, even Mega Diancie could be a little bit of a wall, because I believe it has like base 110 defenses. Like, that's not bad, just really crappy HP. So, now that we've gone over his team and what I kind of sort of noticed, I want to mention real quick that I dropped Dusclops. I know that's really hard for me to mention, but I dropped Dusclops simply because I didn't need it. Every single time that I thought, oh hey, this would be a good battle for Dusclops, he's an awesome wall, I was like, but I have Registeel, I have Tangrowth, I have Mega Audino, I have Defensive Arcanine that do just as good, if not better, and I don't need it for anything. So, I actually just decided to slap on a cloth on it, trade him, get him back, and then evolve him into Dusknoir and use Dusknoir instead. So I picked up Dusknoir, and the reason why I picked up Dusknoir is because I needed a tank. While I have a Pokemon like Tangrowth that can be defensive and also dish out some pretty hard hits, that's about my only wall that can actually do that. Like, Tangrowth can do it, Weezing kinda sorta can, Mega Audino, he can with the correct coverage, but it's just extremely hard for me to openly go about and say, hey, I have a tank. Now, with Dusknoir, I can say, hey, I have a tank. And people have to kind of sort of prepare for it because it's extremely hard to take down unless you have a very strong knockoff user. And a Pokemon that resists knockoff, like Mega Audino, just actually really benefits Dusknoir. So, that's one thing that I did change on my team. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into my team builder. Now, normally on these things, I normally start off with my walls and go into my sweepers. The reason why is because I feel like walls are more important in this kind of format than sweepers, because if you have good walls with good coverage that benefit the sweepers, any sweeper can come in and finish up a job. So, I'm going the complete opposite way. A lot of people may disagree with that statement. That is totally fine. That's my opinion. I'm actually going to start off with one of my sweepers in Raikou. Now, I started off with him the other week, and that's just because I freaking love Raikou. He's so badass. Like, freaking, oh my god, look at shiny Raikou. Now, you look at his team real quick. One thing you will notice is that Raikou actually does a decent chunk to a lot of his team. Rotom Wash, Volcarona doesn't really want to take a hit without Quiver Dancing. Cloyster dies. Sableye can die. Hitmonchan, unless he's Assault Vested, will die, basically. Mega Diancie doesn't appreciate a Thunderbolt on a switch. Tornadus Eye dies. Togetic really doesn't like it. And then Meloetta is just there. So, I kind of sort of had my moveset planned out with Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, and then my last move was kind of up in the air. It was either me run a Psychic type move to hit Hitmonchan, or me run Hidden Power Fire for Ferrothorn, and at the end of the day, I think Hidden Power Fire might actually be better, because Ferrothorn can kind of sort of wall me out depending on the moveset and the bulk that he's running on that thing. So, Hidden Power Fire is the way to go. And another thing that I noticed is I don't really need a fourth move. I don't. I could run, I guess I could run Extreme Speed to help revenge kill some things. I could potentially run like Shadow Ball for... There's nothing really I needed. So at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? Raikou threatens a lot of his team out. Raikou threatens out Cloyster, threatens out Mega Diancie if I speed creep him, of course, and he doesn't Rock Polish. It scares out Tornadus and Togetic. So I have a couple of setup opportunities, and I can go for Calm Minds. Now, that's really interesting because Calm Mind Raikou is very threatening. It actually really can put a number on his team. Once I get up one Calm Mind, I can actually dent a hole in one of his walls. I can proceed to sweep a couple of his sweepers, or I could in turn force him to Quiver Dance with Volcarona to get up some large amounts of hit point or large special defense, and then I can go into one of my mons that I have planned to kill it. So I also want leftovers because I want to be able to live a couple hits. So going into the EV spread of this thing, the only thing I knew I actually wanted was max special attack. I knew I wanted a timid nature because I knew for a fact I could not outspeed Tornadus or Mega Diancie with a modest. I just knew I couldn't. So hopped over to damage calcs, and I wanted to look at Raikou. We're gonna go substitute Calm Mind. Ignore the moves. I'm not gonna actually. I'm gonna put Hidden Power Fire on it because be realistic. Volt Switch isn't really for power. So one thing I wanted to look at was Tornadus, because I believe that is his fastest mon. I believe at 111, I think Mega Diancie is 110. I believe, yeah, 110. So 111 is his fastest. So that means I just have to outspeed Tornadus. Tornadus, we'll say he's Defiant attacker, so that's not much to do. But see, even like this, he has to run a lot of bulk for me not to kill him with Thunderbolt, and with this set, he can't do a whole lot to me, and I outspeed, so I can just go ahead and drop this down to 228, I believe, and I outspeed like Jolly or Timid max speed. So that means I can just throw, I think it's 32 in HP. Let me go ahead and check my notes here. It's actually 28. I always write down my notes on the side, and I try my hardest not to look at them, but sometimes you just have to. Now, looking at this is a very good EV spread for Raikou, just because I outspeed, and that's all that really matters. 228 brings me to 179. Are you sure? Because 228. What? I'm not sure how accurate that is, because what if I go to 229? What? 232? Okay, so we might have to go to 232 and drop this down to 26. I don't know why damage calc is lying to me. Did I drop down to level 50? I did. Timid. It's really freaking weird. It's really freaking weird. 228 timid? Yeah, that's really freaking weird. I don't know why it's like that. I'll have to double check my in-game Raikou. I have to make sure I just have to make sure he's basically 180. That's all that really matters, and the rest just is dumped into HP. But either way, that does not matter. I can double check all that in my game. Either way, Tornadus dies. Mega Diancie does not like Thunderbolts. He really doesn't. Like 58 to 69%. He's not switching into that twice, and he can't OHKO me with Earth Power with this, especially if I'm at +1 special defense. He definitely can't OHKO me, so that's nice. Togetic. I'm expecting a defensive Togetic if he brings it, an especially defensive Ferrothorn, because my only fire type is Arcanine, which is very bad. So it's very bad against Ferrothorns. I think he would kind of play a little bit of mind games and just go especially defensive with it. I think that's what I would do, because I wouldn't bring Arcanine to hit a Ferrothorn unless I'm running Overheat, and even then he won't die to a Flare Blitz, I believe. So either way, defensive Togetic takes 55 to 67% from the Thunderbolt. That's without a boost, and at a boost it just dies. So that is extremely nice. If you run especially defensive, that's fine. I can still set up all over it, because Seismic Toss, it just, yeah. And I believe the only other thing that I really wanted to note about my Raikou was what I could do to Volcarona. Because what I think he's going to do with Volcarona is I think he's going to run a bulky Quiver Dance set, but I think he's going to be modest with max HP. That's really what I think he's going to be, and judging by that, I can't really hurt it too much, and he can hurt me for a whole lot more, so that's not good. I just need to be very careful and play around Volcarona. But either way, that's just all he's for. He's for like late game cleanup, to dent a couple holes, to get a little bit of switch initiative with Volt Switch and what have you. So moving on to the next one, I needed a spinner because I like my Stealth Rocks, and I did not want to have his Magic Bounce user bounce them on my side of the field, me having no way to get rid of them except for Scizor. So I really wanted Starmie for this battle. And once I got to looking at Starmie actually has really good coverage for against his team. I don't need a choice item to hit really hard. All I need is Expert Belt. And Expert Belt with Analytic is going to cause him to have to run certain moves. I didn't know if I wanted Scald, Hydro, or Surf. That's what those three were for. And then I knew I wanted Thunderbolt because if it... Oh my god, my typing is terrible. So if it comes down to it, I want to be able to hit his like water types or his flying types with Starmie, because a lot of them could carry knockoff like Tornadus, and you could think that that's a good switch in. So I guess that's like my only thought with that. But Thunderbolt also kind of hits Rotom Wash a little bit harder than what Grass Knot would, and that's basically all. So I also wanted to run Side Shock because he likes Assault Vest Hitmonchan. This one-shots it. Simple as that. And then, of course, Rapid Spin. Now, whenever I went to look at the damage calcs, I went to look at Starmie. I'm really mad that Starmie, like, Expert Belt isn't on here yet. It's just Life Orb, but I love Expert Belt Starmie. So, I wanted to see which water move I could use and still OHKO Mega Diancie and not have this horrendous problem with power. So, granted, this has a chance to OHKO max HP Volcarona. It also, to Mega Diancie, does a crap ton of damage. It does so much damage. So I obviously don't need Hydro Pump. It's not that it's crap accuracy, it's just that it's crap PP that I don't want to have to deal with. So I went to Scald, see what Scald could do. And Scald still hurts him. However, I don't need to burn anything on his team per se. Like, there's nothing that I really want to say, oh hey, a Scald burn on this would be really nice. So I kind of wanted a little bit more power, because whenever we go over here to Volcarona, Bulky Quiver Dance, max HP, he's modest. So Scald is 69 to 82% without a boost. That was nice and all, but if I look at Surf just makes it a little bit easier and does 80% guaranteed. So if I have up rocks, if I get off some crap move on him to get off 10% of damage, it's a roll. So that's extremely nice. So I ended up going with Surf over anything. I know David is probably turning in his grave right now. He's not really turning in his grave because he's alive, but you know what I mean. He's probably throwing up at the fact that I'm running Surf over Hydro because he loves power moves. So, with me being at level 50, I basically just need to run the exact same speed because they're the exact same speed. So, we're going to 228. Timid. Okay, why is that 180? I don't freaking get it. 252, and then we're going to throw 32 and 28 in bulk. I don't freaking understand it. 228. Timid. Okay, this is actually stupid. I don't understand. Whatever. So, basically the exact same speed, because I wanted to do basically the exact same thing that Raikou can do, because they're kind of sort of synonymous. I just really need something to hit the fast mons on this team, because my bulk can't really handle them too well, but they can handle them well enough. So, moving on to the next Pokemon, the third Pokemon, because 3 is my favorite number, gotta make it my favorite Pokemon and make it Mega Audino. I'm gonna make it Audino because I want Regenerate on him. He's gonna be holding the Audinite, and he's an Ever Generator. I want Regenerator because I want to be able to switch into things, take hits, and switch back out and gain momentum. That's basically it. So, yeah, deal with it. I'm running a little bit of a stally set. I'm okay with it because I need to be able to do stuff like be able to stall out Rotom Wash if I have to. These moves are pretty self-explanatory because Ferrothorn is an obvious check to this, so I need Flamethrower. It does a lot of damage, to be honest. Let's go ahead, Mega Auto now. Just go ahead and drop this down to level 50. Flamethrower. Granted, I can't touch Volk, like, at all. I literally, it would be idiotic for me to stay on this thing, so it's whatever. However, Ferrothorn is basically instantly checked with this because while he can do 25%, I can do 40%. He can set up Leech Seeds, that's fine. I switch out, I have other answers to this thing. So, that is that. I mean, basically his job is to switch into a toxic Rotom Lodge, stall it out a little bit, get some health back. Or, if by some miracle, I let Volcarona set up all over my damn face, I'm going to be able to stall out his Fire Blast or his Fiery Dances or whatever. And this thing can actually eat up a +1 Fire Dance pretty well and get off a Wish and then a Protect and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to run fully defensive like I normally do. It really sucks I haven't gotten a chance to use offensive Mega Audino yet this season, but he will be coming within the next couple weeks, I feel. But Mega Audino is very self-explanatory. This next Pokemon is actually not so self-explanatory. And that is going to be Tangrowth. The reason why I want Tangrowth is because his Hitmonchan can't really touch me unless he's Life Orbed, and I'd be willing to bet money he won't be Life Orbed, because if he's Life Orbed, he puts himself on a timer. Because Tangrowth eats up hits, I can hit him extra hard with Giga Drain, and that's just crazy. Of course I'm going to be carrying the Assault Vest because I want to be extra bulky, gotta carry a Regenerator. And I wanted to carry a... If I could have 17 moves on this thing, I would. But I can't, because Pokemon is stupid sometimes. Let me change this to level 50. These next Pokemon are extremely basic. This video won't be as long at all. It's just a very simple spread team. It's very cookie cutter, but that's because that's what would work. Like, if I could, I would run other things that could have more complicated EVs and all this other type of stuff, but his team is very cookie cutter, except for a freaking sweeper that can sweep my entire life. So, Tangrowth with Assault Vest. I wanted to have Knockoff because I don't want to have to deal with things like Assault Vest, Hitmonchan. I don't have to deal with things like Life Orb, Torn, or Eviolite, Togetic. I just want to have Knockoff because Knockoff is probably one of my favorite moves in the game. Also want a Giga Drain because I want health back from Rotom. And I also want Sludge Bomb. The reason I want Sludge Bomb, Togetic. And the final move I want is Rock Slide, because I am basically screaming, hey, set up on my face with Volcarona on this mod, and I want to be able to punish him for it, because I believe it's an Oko. I believe it's an Oko. Tangrowth. Let's go Assault Vest. Does it have Rock Slide? No, it doesn't have Rock Slide? That's idiotic. It's idiotic. It has Earthquake, though. I guess that's nice. Rock Slide versus Bulk. Bulk. Yeah, see, he has to be running like a defensive nature for it to not do anything. And granted, he can do a hell of a lot of damage. He sets up to +1 with no investment, and he OHKOs me. So that says something. However, Rock Slide does a ton of damage, and that's really nice. So, I mean, I could catch it on the switch in, get rid of it, go knock off, and then Rock Slide, I suppose, because 252 modest doesn't OHKO. I mean, that it's just, it's very risky with me staying in on Volcarona with this thing, but it's a very, very simple moveset. I'm going to give a quick shout out to Bird for giving me this EV spread. He did not give it to me this battle, however, he did suggest it to me. I think it might have been last season or two seasons ago. He had Tangrowth, and he ran max defenses in both defenses and no HP in his Tangrowth. And the reason why is because he already has a really good HP stat. He already has base 100. Like, you don't need to max that out and get up into the 200s HP. And this way, you will also maximize the amount of health you get back from Giga Drain. So, whereas if I was doing it against Rotom, let me go ahead and take this out and put it here with Assault Vest. He doesn't have Giga Drain on here as Leaf Storm. That's stupid. Giga Drain. Let's go to Rotom. We'll go to Specially Defensive. Even though I'd be willing to bet money he's going to go defensive if he brings it. So, see, Giga Drain does a lot, and where 42% of his health, like we could go ahead and gauge that. If 157 is 50% of his health, say we take just 45%. 45% of 150, that's about 70, I believe. Let's take away 70. So we're gonna go 80. Yeah, see, if we take away 80, that's exactly 50% of his health. 3/4 of that, because I believe Giga Drain does 3/4 of that, it does a lot. It gives me back a lot of health. So I want to be able to maximize on that because I really need this thing to have as much HP as possible. So that's basically that. Kind of a weird explanation. If you don't really understand it, I'm sorry, I'm stupid. So my last mon, Registeel is coming back for the 3rd game. I believe Registeel is the only Pokemon to be in here all 3 rounds, but that's because Registeel is so good. And I know exactly what you're thinking. Hey Kelly, you told me in the beginning of the battle that Volcarona could sweep your team, so why on earth would you bring a Psychic type, a Grass type, and a Steel type to a battle that has Volcarona? Shh. I'll get to it. You just gotta have faith in me. I'm bringing a very cookie cutter Registeel. I want him Stealth Rock. I'm not bringing dual stats. I'm only bringing Toxic. I'm bringing a Seismic Toss, and I'm also bringing Flash Cannon. Believe it or not, not Cannon. And Max HP, Max Special Defense. Now, with this set, without any investment whatsoever, or for investment whatsoever, let's go ahead and take a look at Registeel. Especially defensive. I'm gonna throw 4 into special attack, level 50. Let's throw on Flash Cannon. And you can probably hear the ice cream truck outside. That's really depressing because I want to go get ice cream. Mega Diancie dies. I mean, like, straight up dies. Like, there's nothing he can do to me. Earth Power hurts, but Flash Cannon kills him. Like, that just goes to show how frail Mega Diancie is, which kind of sucks. But I have a backup plan to it. If he wants to set up all over my face and get to +6 speed, doesn't matter, you still die to this thing. So I'm really happy at the fact that Flash Cannon does that much damage. Seismic Toss for health going off onto things. Yeah, health going off onto things. That's a good explanation for why. Now, the last Pokemon. I went back and forth for so long on what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring Specially Defensive Arcanine. I really did with Flash Fire, because that basically forces him to run Hidden Power Ground on his Volcarona. Now, this either takes up a move for Bug Buzz, or Giga Drain, or Fiery Dance, because he can't carry all three, and Hidden Power Ground, and Quiver Dance. So, that was kind of my mindset behind that, but then whenever I got to looking at it, I was like, okay. Yeah, Arcanine does fill that one hole that I need him to do. Yeah, it would be nice to have that. Yeah, it would be nice to have a stab fire type to kill Ferrothorn. However, there's a Pokemon on my team that has really high defenses that is just screaming set up on me because you can, and then I can OHKO it. Like that just sounded so much more appealing to me than anything. So I'm actually going with the newly added Dusknoir. Now, Dusknoir's going to be carrying an Assault Vest with Pressure. I'm considering carrying Frisk. Now, the reason why I want to carry Frisk is because I want to be able to figure out what some of his items are. However, he can't really be running too many, like, oh, hey, I'm going to be running this Expert Belt, whatever. Like, he's basically going to be running Life Orb Torn, Assault Vest, or Life Orbed Hitmonchan, which I find out in a turn. He's either going to be bringing Leftovers or like Life Orb Volk or something like that. Like, he can't be running super scary items, so I'm probably just going to end up going with Pressure. I haven't genned this Pokemon yet, but more than likely I'm just going to go with Pressure. Let me make him level 100, or level 50, I'm sorry. And you know, he has to be male because he's not so Slim Shady. Not so Slim Shady. So, I want him to have Rock Slide. I know that's really weird to say for the first move. However, let me show you the EV spread that I want to run first. I want to run max HP. I want to run max special defense with a relaxed nature, I believe it is. Sassy nature. Sassy, not so Slim Shady. That is perfect. So, go to Dusknoir. Tank. Tink. Let me go to Assault Vest. Granted, I have to invest a lot in special defense to do this, but that's fine. I don't need any more attacking power, so then let me go to Sassy. Sassy. For an attack. Now, I'm going to take off Earthquake and I'm going to throw on Rock Slide real quick, just because I want you guys to see what I really wanted him to do. Volk. The one thing I want this thing to do is be able to take out this stupid max HP Volcarona, which does 83 to 100%, which you're like, Kelly, that's not enough to OHKO it. You're right, but slap on Shadow Sneak, and it is. Like, if I get 2 extremely min rolls, I still OHKO. Or, well, I do a lot of damage. And one thing I really liked about this set is if he's modest, max special attack, he can get to +3 and still not OHKO me with Fire Blast. Take a minute to take that in. I don't know if Fire Blast or Fiery Dance is more. Let me go Fiery Dance. Yeah, Fiery Dance. Look at that's stupid. That's actually stupid. So 80% max. So that means he has to set up to +3. I will not let this man set up to me to +3 with a Volcarona. I just can't physically let it happen, or else I'm a foolish fool of a took. Hashtag shout out Shady Penguins. So, Volcarona is basically handled by Dusknoir. Now, granted, the other moves are kind of sort of filler. I wanted Shadow Sneak, because Shadow Sneak revenge kills certain things on his team. I wanted dual coverage in Fire Punch, and I want Ice Punch. Which kind of sucks, because I can't touch his Rotom. However, I have this, I have this, I have this, I have this, and to an extent I have this to Toxic it, which all take on his Rotom. Fire Punch does about 50% to specially defensive Ferrothorn, so once I see that he's physically defensive, Raikou can take him out, I believe, with Hidden Power Fire. Let me double check that. Raikou with Calm Mind. Oh my Jesus, 50. Let me go Hidden. Oh my lord, I can't type. Hidden Power Fire versus. I just need to quit typing because I'm getting tired. OU Utility. Let's say he's max with Impish. Just because I want to make sure you get like the physical nature. I can't remember what the minus speed was off the top of my head. So that means that Hidden Power Fire can basically take him out from there, and then Fire Punch does a lot. Fire Punch, like, even defensive does like 50%. If he's specially defensive, like, it just does even more. So, yeah, it just does even more. So, this thing is really, really good. I'm considering running 0 speed IVs, because that makes his Gyro Ball do literally tits. And if he wants to Leech Seed me, that's fine, dude. My HP sucks as it is. You're not going to gain anything back. So, this thing is a really good Ferrothorn check as well. And to Mega Diancie, it doesn't do the most damage with Ice Punch, but it does enough to make me happy. It does enough to make me happy, I guess. I mean, it's not as good as Earthquake. I might put on Earthquake over Ice Punch, because... Actually, no, because... I don't know. I don't know if I'll be carrying Earthquake or Ice Punch. I'll probably say it in the battle, but I don't know, because, granted, Ice Punch does about a quarter. How much does Earthquake do? Earthquake does 62%, yeah. It's really hard to argue with. Why does Earthquake do so much more? It only has, like, 25 base power. That's weird. That's really weird. Wait, is Ice Punch... No, Ice Punch is still super effective. It's really weird. Either way, it's basically the team. I'm going to basically say Ice Punch / Earthquake for here. And that is obviously the set. So these are going to be the 6 Pokemon that I'm bringing to face Terralution 23. We're going to be bringing Blitzkrieg. We're going to be bringing Jewel, Larry, Rapunzel, Goliath, and not so Slim Shady. He might actually just have to be simple down to not Slim Shady, but either way, that is the team, guys. I'm so pumped to use Dusknoir. Dusknoir is easily one of my favorite Pokemon from 4th Gen. I always had him on a playthrough of Pokemon Platinum. I think, yeah, it was Platinum. Yeah, I'm really stoked to be having him on this team. Like, for some reason, the thought of having Dusknoir just makes me feel confident, because I know how good Dusknoir can be in draft-based leagues after watching Cooper use it, and Cooper used it really well. Granted, he didn't use it the way I planned to use it, but he gave me tons of ideas to use it, and that's really something that I need to keep in mind. Either way, make sure you guys go check out all the links in the description below. I'll be leaving 2 good friends of mine, Ashton Akai or Eric, and D-Train. I'm probably also going to leave Mr. Murkrow down below, because he's been helping me a lot lately with team building, and he also uploads LBA content that is fantastic, so make sure you go check him out too. I'll probably leave those 3 links down below. Also, make sure that you guys stick around for my battle, because I know a lot of you guys watch this and then you miss my battle. I actually got hit up on Twitter like 4 times because they asked me when I was going to upload my battle, and I said it uploaded yesterday. So I don't know, maybe just not getting the sub boxes. However, make sure you guys have an absolutely fantastic day, and I'll see you guys probably within the next couple days with my battle, because Taryn and he hasn't even had his round 2 battle. But I'll see you guys later. Bye!